about composition in G, um, a little bit of a tutorial. And so I wanted to do this brief one, mainly on a couple of different issues. So first of all, I have up here the score I created, but I want to bring up the instructions because I want to make sure everybody is following the score setup correctly right here. So really do go through all these steps carefully, and please make sure you set up an 8-measure score that's divided into 4 measures here and 4 measures down below. So you can see 1, 2, 3, and 4 are here with the piano, both hands, and the bass part, and down below we have 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, set it up in the key of G as is requested. And then moving on to the composition itself, I want to make sure we understand the chords are named by Roman numerals according to what number of the scale they are. So in a G scale, the first note in the scale, G, is the 1 chord. A, the second note in the G scale, is the 2 chord, etc. Okay, so when I talk about a chord progression based on those Roman numerals, it comes from where it is in the scale. So on the 4th note of the scale, C, it gets a Roman numeral 4. So a chord progression might be 1, 4, 5, 1, which means you would have this chord, then this one, then this one, and then back to that, as we did on the previous composition. The next thing I wanted to make sure we are thinking about is what to put in our melody. First of all, you should not be writing 4 quarter notes in a measure or 8 eighth notes. You should use a variety of rhythms. It says to do so here. Make sure you use a variety of note values, quarter notes, eighth notes, 16th notes, etc. And then the notes you choose should be chord tones, passing tones, or neighbor tones. So I look down at this chord. I have a G, a B, and a D. I'm going to begin my melody on a G quarter note because it's one of the chord tones. And then I went up by step. Now I'll do a little bit of a jump, and I'll come back down. Okay, these notes should be mostly moving one letter at a time, or one line to a space, or one space to a line, with an occasional small jump like that. Some of you are writing really big jumps from low on the staff to up high. Please don't do that. Try to create a smooth flowing melody. So I created this first measure according to what's in this chord. Now I need to continue in the second measure according to what's in this chord, but continuing from where I left off there. So I have a B there, there's a B in the chord. I think I'll continue using Bs, or at least the first note. I'm sorry, I just wrote a note that I don't want. I think I'll make that a B instead because it's in the chord. And then on this measure, maybe I'll take this idea and copy it over here, but move it down to fit these a little bit more. And then continue it here with something that comes from these chord tones. So I've created 2 phrases, both of them ending on a longer note, and almost all of the notes change by step, except when I switched phrases here. I started a new phrase very far below that previous note. Okay, so that's the way you should be creating your melodies, flowing like rolling hills, not like jagged or big jumps between notes. Okay, your bass line should only contain the notes that are in the chord, and mostly the one that's at the bottom of the chord. You notice I have G's, and I have a D, which is that top note, and I have 2 more G's. Okay, then I take that shape and I just copy it and pasted it here and moved it to fit this chord, moved it to fit this chord, and moved it to fit that chord. You'll notice these have red notes here. That's Sibelius telling you that usually the electric bass doesn't go down to a low C or a low D, but the modern electric bass does. A lot of them go down to a low A sometimes. So I'm not worried about that. So please continue writing your melody in that way and your bass line only from chord tones. The last thing you need to do is to add in your dynamics. So I click on the note, the very first note of the piece, then type Command E for expression, and I get the blinker. I want to start this piece fairly loudly. And then I think I will hear, starting on the second note, I'll click that and type the letter L. No command, just the letter L. And I'll choose decrescendo because I want it to start getting softer. And I'll pull that way over here. And on this note, I will once again Command E, and I'll put in the letter P because I want it to be down soft by then. So that's how you should be entering dynamics. Okay? Anyone who wants a little extra help, please send me an email and I'd be glad to conference with you. All right? Good luck with this. Bye-bye.